Hey everybody, welcome to Turner Classic Movies. I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Up next in our lineup of monster movies where insects of all sizes run wild, we have a gigantic monster that for once doesn't really mean any harm. From Toho Pictures and distributed by Columbia, it's Mothra. Released in Japan in 1961, Mothra begins as a giant caterpillar that eventually turns into, as the title suggests, a ginormous moth. And though the creature ends up destroying much of a large city, it must be said that Mothra really has the best intentions. Mothra isn't evil, just a little careless, much like my dog Bob. She's a good girl, but she would destroy Tokyo if Tokyo were a down comforter. The story begins when two tiny singing princesses from an H-bomb island are kidnapped and held captive in a freak show where they're subject to the tyranny of an evil showman. The princesses begin praying to their god, who they call Mothra, to protect them. Next thing you know, Mothra hatches and heads for the big city to save the princesses, unfortunately destroying most of Tokyo along the way. It's almost more of a fairy tale than a monster movie, but fans of monster movies generally consider Mothra among the best. The film was directed by Ishiro Honda, the man behind the granddaddy of all Japanese monster movies, the original Godzilla. Honda's touch sets Mothra apart from other monster movies with its rich, vibrant color and unusual dreamlike sequences. In fact, when the movie was released in America in 1962, the New York Times said, quote, "It's as touchingly bizarre a climax as we've seen in years." Released in the States in 1962, here's a monster you can't help but love, Mothra. The tiny twin princesses in Mothra were Emi and Yumi Ito, who were popularly known in Japan at the time as the Peanuts. They were pop singing stars in Japan, making their recording debuts in 1959. They eventually went on to record cover versions of many American songs before retiring from show business in 1975. And in case you were curious, this was not Mothra's only role in a feature film. Mothra and the tiny princesses would go on to appear together in two more films, co-starring with the likes of Godzilla and Rodan. And the Peanuts made several other movies, sometimes billed as the Peanuts, other times under their own names. Up next, another sci-fi film about insects on the loose. This time the locale shifts to the western United States, and the threat comes from giant mutated ants.
Tonight on Turner Classic Movies, giant atomic ants threaten civilization in them. Then age-defying royal jelly turns a cosmetic company's CEO into the Wasp Woman. And Michael Caine and Richard Widmark incite the Swarm.